Welcome to the Overtly Disagreeable podcast where two assholes talk about nothing. We're your hosts. My name is Ken, and this is...
I'm Shane.
Welcome. All right, Shane. So, as per usual, how was your week?
It's been okay. Work's been very busy, and it's been kind of stressful. But, I mean, it's nothing different than any other job that has its stressful moments, but, yeah,
I mean,
not
we've
much.
both been stressed out at work, so...
Yeah, for different reasons. Well, management, I guess.
It's management.
Yeah.
It's mostly like management just not listening.
Yeah, and not...
not doing their part.
Recognizing the problems and executing on them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, nothing really special. I mean, between that and...
like any games?
Gaming. Nothing new, really. I picked up Stellaris for a little bit, just been chipping away at that, because it's such a long game, because you're doing, like, empire building over centuries, and it's just...
Over centuries and centuries and centuries.
It is a very long game, and I'm getting into the point where I'm, like, plotting, like, hundreds of years in advance. Like, I'm in a federation with one other AI, and we have, like, an association with another alien race, and they are currently, like, the most powerful... in the nice job.
Yeah, how unprofessional of me.
The most powerful like force in the galaxy according to the game, right? So they're our friends.
With the exception of like invading species.
Well, I turned that off.
Oh,
because I wanted to have a game where I played legit before some fucking crazy space aliens came out of the fucking void and just whooped all of our asses. But yeah, so like the top 3 people in this game is the one AI, me, and then my Federation teammate, and I'm like, okay, so what I did was, I have a crazy excess of resources. Like, you can have a cap of, like, right now I have a cap of 60,000 minerals.
Okay.
And it only takes 1,000 to make, like, a battleship.
So but how long does it take to make a battleship?
288 seconds. Something like that.
Like how much?
In-game. That's in-game.
Really?
Yeah, it's 288.
So it's pretty much like that.
Well, it's not like a snap. It's like...
288 seconds is...
And every, like, it goes by pretty fast. Yeah, you can adjust the speed, but it's pretty fast.
5 minutes or something? Am I wrong there?
It takes, like, I don't know. I'd have to actually test it in-game of, like, how long it takes. But I feel like it takes about a month in-game to make a ship.
Yeah, okay. But then...
Make one ship, though. That's one single ship.
Yeah, but I mean, you could easily make 60 of those.
Eventually, over the course of time. But that's what I did, right? So you can have a cap on your army limit, or naval, as they call it. For ships. For naval limit. So, for example, mine is like 400 or something like that. But because we're in a federation... we have our kind of combined forces limit, so it's gonna be more. So I spent all my money building Federation ships, and basically what that means is that whoever is the Federation president is in control of the Federation army, which is separate than your army. So my naval count is 400. I can have 400, but then I can have my Federation teammates pool into another resource of armies that we can use for war. So then I can basically...
But then anything else built within that cap, I suppose you said, belongs to that federation. Belongs to the federation, not to you.
Yes, but more specifically, that if you build Federation ships, it goes to the Federation because you combine technologies too. But if you build ships for yourself, they stay for yourself.
I see. Okay.
So basically, I built this crazy army that I poured all of my money into for the Federation.
Okay.
So my future plan in like hundreds of years is after I crush all the smaller alien races that are in the galaxy and either combine them into my regime, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever. Just conquer them or destroy them, whatever.
And then there's only the 3 of us left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Federation to kick out the guy that's not really part of the Federation. That's the top of the list.
Okay.
I'll just call him what they're called in the game is the Trestle.
Okay.
That's what I've called them. So once all the smaller teams are gone, I'm going to use the Federation to go after the Trestle. Crush them as hard as I can, right?
He's not going to have any control over it?
No, because the Federation presidency switches back and forth.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So as soon as it's yours...
Exactly. Then I start waging war.
What
and then what I'm going to do is... Right? No, it gets better. And I haven't executed this, so I might backfire in my face. But then after I do that, after I theoretically successfully crush the Trestle hierarchy, then, because there'll be no more Federation fleet, I'll leave the Federation... And then it'll be just me and the other guy that was in the Federation.
Yeah,
and then I'll beat him.
But the Federation fleet is probably also like severely damaged.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll wage war against the Trestle
using the Federation army.
Use the Federation army as the main bulk of the force. Even if they don't get destroyed, I'll just decommission all the ships right before I give it back to him. And then as soon as he becomes the president of the Federation, I'll just leave the Federation. There'll be no one to join him, and then I'll use my own shit to crush him.
To be fair, he might also have his own personal army.
They're the AI. I don't think they'll do that. Yes, they'll have the personal army, but I can see his shit so long as we're in the Federation, so I can keep an eye on how good he's doing.
I see what you're saying. What a bitch move, man.
Hey, he's not going to listen to this podcast because he's an AI and he's a chump.
Maybe it will. Maybe the AI, like the AI in Stellaris is like built so well that it starts to learn and listen outside.
I wouldn't be surprised.
World.
They also shift their politics based on what the galactic world looks like. So if they were super aggressive and then they got their ass kicked for being super aggressive, their society basically becomes more peaceful.
Oh, I see. So they do actually learn a little bit.
Kind of, yeah. I'm not sure how intricate it is, but I have seen that where it's like a society that was doing one thing and it didn't work, then their entire population is like, now we're angry, so now we're gonna be dicks.
Okay, yeah. It's basically like whatever, I guess, didn't work, don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The AI learns by not doing the same thing at the very least. What else? I played a little more Rainbow Six. It kind of had a really high point from last week of everyone playing it, and then everyone just keeps getting distracted with Smite, so we don't get to play as much Siege as I'd like. It is fun, but I think Siege is actually...
Well, Siege is tactical. Like, there's a lot more thinking in Siege. And,
yes, there is. And plotting.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know, maybe you're different from me, maybe your friends are more similar to me, but, like, when I play games, I just don't... Like, if I play games after work or something, I don't want to think. Okay, there's a lot of that going on in Siege.
I could say that I do understand what you're saying, but I normally don't feel that way. I am all about, like, wanting to win based on better tactics or gameplay, like playing better, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Like when I play Smite and all my friends, we load into a fucking match and it's like, what do you guys want to play, right? And then I could go whatever. That's not the reason why I fucking asked what you wanted to be, assholes. It was because to give you the consideration of you get to pick first, because every single time that you fucking hum and haw about what you want to play and pick at your god in the last 10 seconds, this isn't a very good team. Oh, I wonder why it's not a very good team. I wonder if it's because I asked you when we had a minute and a half to make a fucking team comp and you were like, yeah, I'll go Phil. It's no big deal. I could play anything. It's like, fuck you, then why are you playing this game if you could play anything? I play this game because I'm like, I want to crush people with Hades.
Fuck, if it's a bad team comp, then like, why didn't the person who Phil pick somebody that could balance that?
Exactly.
Like,
I know,
what the hell is that guy talking about?
Nobody wants to take responsibility for the fact that they want to win, but they don't want to put the effort into doing it.
Yes.
Meanwhile, me over here, I'm all about the counterplay. Like, I don't know if I could even be good at Smite at a really good level without counterplay of items. Like if it was just a no items game,
that's part of how to be good.
Exactly, but that's part of the game, right? But if it was a game that was more simplistic, like let's say Overwatch, where it's like what you get is what you get, and that's all you get to work with. Yeah, there's no buffs really, except for other character buffs. Then it's kind of like, well, you can only do so much, right? A fucking damage buff in Smite can make it or break a fucking team fight.
It definitely can.
You know what I mean? Like that little bit of damage.
It's on the right person.
Because it's available to change the game. So it's kind of like you have those options, you better fucking use them. It would be like a jungler never picking up the speed buff.
Ugh.
It's like, what a waste.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, sometimes I play with some and they go after damage buff early. And it's just like, I get where they're coming from, but the speed buff is more important for like rotations, leveling up, getting the gold.
Especially early when you don't have the speed, from boots in general.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you're a god that, I don't know, has extra speed, you might be able to get away with it. I don't know who that would be.
Even then, at level 1, let's say you have... Mercury. Let's say Mercury, right?
Yeah.
Even at level 3, let's say, you're only getting like a 10% movement speed buff from popping an ability and spending mana. It's really not worth it compared to let's just take a buff and have it for a few minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing I would say that is if you get the red buff and can get a kill early enough, then you've made it worth it.
I suppose, yeah. But I just mean not necessarily the fact that junglers have to take speed buff. It's the fact that this is a benefit, a bonus, an advantage it gives you over other players. If by not taking it would seem ridiculous, and like why are you even playing the game?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I agree.
It's like just use whatever you got at your advantage. Like
I don't
know.
I think it more than makes up for the lack of power from not taking the red buff.
Yeah, it could.
Like,
you could change up a strategy. It's like having a fucking warrior in duo lane and a guardian, or even not even an assassin in solo lane. It's like if you can make it work, sure, right? But there's more of a guarantee. Anyways, my point was that fucking people sometimes hum and haw. But we did do something fun last night on Friday where me and the bunch of friends, we had like 4v4s where we did custom matches. Mm-hmm. And we did like warriors only with like limited rules. That was pretty fun. In arena with no lane minions and no items, just level 20, just like a test of how good you can use a god and counterplay based on 1v1s. And we wouldn't even fight the same people over and over again. It would be like me fight you and then you fight somebody else and stuff like that.
It's basically science. You're just experimenting.
I wouldn't say
it's science.
That far, but
science,
sure. Yeah. Sure, let's go with that. But
it
was fun. It was something to do. Something fun, different.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to do customs every once in a while because, everyone wants to dick on each other. But I think everyone gets too salty too quickly. And it's hard to get like 5v5s going.
I suppose. I mean, I don't really do customs, but whatever.
I know, but just in general, getting 10 people all in the same room at the same time to play. 5, there's a reason why so many games do 5. It's because... That's a reasonable amount.
Even 5 is hard.
It is, but it's more reasonable than 10.
Yeah, fair.
You know how many times I've tried so many times in the past to be like the guy who tries to set up the 5v5, and it's always you get to like 8 or 9 people, and you can't get that last person, and then someone backs out at the last second the minute that you get 10, or somebody's like, no, I don't want to actually do customs anymore. Some bullshit like that. Like nobody has it, so I don't even bother fucking setting that shit up anymore. If you guys want to do 5v5s, just make it happen. Just I'll be there, but I ain't fucking doing all the work
if
for
this,
it.
Piece of shit podcast ever gets famous, you'll have more than enough people.
Yeah, but I don't want randoms. I want to play with my friends. I'm talking about just in general.
Their friends are fucking randoms.
They were, but they're not anymore. Okay. That's kind of the whole point, is that they prove themselves, or else I wouldn't keep playing with them all the time.
That's not true for all of them.
What?
Because some of your friends kind of suck ass.
I mean, everyone has their weaknesses.
Yeah,
that's why it's a team game. But yeah. Some of them do.
That's one of my theories for why like League of Legends and Smite and like MOBA style games took over like StarCraft.
Okay.
Because StarCraft, it's not a team game. So,
it's all you.
Yeah, it's all you. So if you fuck up, it's definitely you.
Yeah.
Whereas in all those other games, if you fuck up, like majority of people like blaming somebody else for their fuck ups.
Yeah, but I think feel like when you're playing with your friends, you're more likely to blame some bullshit from the other team than you are likely to blame your friends.
Oh, maybe. That's actually a good point, yeah.
But
I guess you could still do it in StarCraft.
With randoms, definitely. You have 4 people on a team and one random. That one random better fucking be owning the whole game, or else he's going to get shit on by his team.
Yeah. Sometimes then they just don't look. I mean, I'm probably never going to forget this because I was so fucking mad, but there was one game of Just I played long fucking time ago.
Yeah.
Where it was me, Artemis? Okay. And which is the hunter with the ult that has the pig that comes out?
That's Artemis.
That is Artemis. Here. Okay. So me as Geb, Artemis, and a Poseidon.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Artemis say attack, attack, attack. So basically, let's go all in. So I blink, I ult. They're stunned. The Poseidon does nothing. The Artemis is ult. They're stunned even longer.
Yeah.
Poseidon still does nothing. We were both so fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
We're like, dude, we needed you to fucking close this shit.
All in. And that's what attack means from both people.
And he's the one that was there, that needed to be there, and he was near us.
Yeah.
And it's like they were stunned for a fucking long ass time.
Joust too, so it's not a very far distance to move.
It's because like me and the Artemis both stunned them, so they were stunned for a while.
Yeah.
And Poseidon just fucked up. I don't think I've ever been more mad than like at that moment when I played Smite.
Well, maybe not you, but I know that I've had way worse situations with just retarded teammates.
Just like not following up on what needs to be done.
Or just like, I don't know. There's some people that I play with, even with my friends, where it's like, I'll be thinking, okay, we're going in on this team fight, and then we're all dead, and then I like look at the map, and they're taking like a side jungle buff, and I'm like,
oh my god,
where were you?
There's some action going on here, man. You got to show up.
Why is their team fight and you were taking not even a buff, a side jungle camp?
Congratulations, you got some extra gold.
We're all dead. Yeah. They got a lot more extra gold from all that fucking murder they just pulled off.
But yeah, good for you though. Good for you. Yeah.
That's annoying, but I don't know. I'm like, at least they're more consistent than randoms.
Yeah, no,
that's the best thing I can say.
Fair enough, and you can kind of figure out shit.
Yeah.
I've been playing a little bit of Kill Streak. I don't know if you remember that game.
Wait. No, I was thinking of the Portal game.
You were thinking of Splitgate. Kill Streak is the other one that I was playing, I think, a month and a half.
Oh, is that the like goofy looking one where you got your banners on it?
Yeah, that's the
okay.
One, yeah.
And
because like it's that one's really nice. Because how long are the matches there? 3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, it seemed very short.
Yeah, and there's like pretty much there's no respawn time, so you die, you respawn. It's just nice and quick. Yeah, so you get in there, you start shooting. It's a small arena, so there's always action going on.
Okay.
So it's the kind of game that I play when I really just don't want to think about anything. I just want to get in there. I just want to do shit.
How long do you think you play that at like in duration?
Not
matches, like time.
Yeah, like how long I go for that? Maybe just an hour.
Okay, that's not too bad for a game that's quick like that. Yeah. I feel like those are the types of games when you're like, I don't know what I want to play, but I only want to play something for a half an hour. Yeah. I feel like that's the type of game. So the fact that you're playing for an hour means that it's grabbing your attention with those quick, snappy games.
That's pretty much
for a long period of time. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, Shane knows this, but the dev of that game saw me playing once.
Yeah. On Twitch.
Twitch, yeah. And so he made it so that if I'm ever in a game, that my banner shows up like all over the screen.
At least it's specific to when you're playing.
Yeah, it's only in the lobby that I'm currently in, right? So my banner will like show up on the screens in the map.
Yeah, like the Pepsi advertisement.
Something like that. Yeah, which was really nice of them. And I mean, I enjoy the game, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Because it's a pretty small game and it was pretty simplistic. Do they like tune it up at all or make any
I mean, they might have made like patch notes, but I didn't notice very much. Yeah,
but there was nothing big like new guns or better graphics or anything like that.
No, nothing like that.
Just a simple game.
But yeah, I mean, he may have added stuff, but I didn't notice very much. But I just love that game. It's just nice and mind numbing.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what I need from games sometimes, especially like when I'm having a rough week, like for work wise, it doesn't matter.
Take your mind off it.
Just no thinking.
Yeah, nothing worse than trying to play a game of Smite to relax and then getting pissed off because you're getting fucking stomped because someone went try hard and you're trying to chill out.
Yeah, that does anger me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do that though.
Like going try hard?
Try to.
Oh yeah, that's fine if you're going try hard. I just mean like taking responsibility for yourself when you feel like shit and you don't really want to get your ass whooped that hard. It's one thing to be like, I feel okay today. I don't mind getting stomped in Smite. Yeah. I'm ready for this. Another thing to be like, I'm pissed off and angry and want to quit. Let's go play Smite and get stomped.
Well, like I'm Geb, so if I do try, I mean the character I almost always play as nowadays is Geb.
Yeah, he's gonna play a lot. So.
Yeah. So if I do try to go try hard and I fail, I can at least somewhat make up for it for my teammate later by just blink ulting. Like that usually
the setups.
Yeah. Gets everyone being like, okay, he fucked up at the beginning, but he's fine now. Or the shield, you get somebody out of a stun or whatever.
Free Furies, just handing them out. Free Furies for everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. Which I think is fucking dope. But yeah, that's been my week. So not too much going on for me other than work shit and kill streak.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, I have not played Splitgate at all this week.
No, that's too bad. Yeah. I mean, it looked pretty fun, but do you know if it's doing all right, like user wise?
I think it's going down.
It just came out. Down. That's too bad.
Yeah. Change the subject.
Sure, go for it.
We said we were going to talk about this, although I forgot what your question was, but recently in the news, Bella Thorne...
Oh, do you want me to preface this?
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, whatever.
Since it was my thought. So I was going to ask you a moral question, so this might be long-winded, but we can have a discussion about this on...
First, let's explain the incident.
No, I'm going to. I'm just going for a general preface, so that when people hear my long-winded setup to this, they'll understand why it's long-winded as a setup.
All right.
So
they just went through 20 minutes of like nerding out. I think fine. They can.
Well, you never know. People fucking just turn their brains off in like half a second.
That's me.
Maybe someone will be looking at porn right now, not even paying attention. They'd be like, "What? What? No, I'm listening."
Okay.
So, I have a policy generally that I don't really go out of my way to look at nudes that get what is the word I'm looking for, released, but
like
not
hacked or something
like that, like hacked nudes and stuff like that. It's just something.
And I'm the same way.
I feel like it's just a level of respect for people's privacy. It seems unnecessary for me to hunt down their private images. You know what I mean?
I only want to look at nudes of women who want the nudes to be out there.
Porn, basically. You know what I mean? Consenting adults, that's fine, right? But consenting adults for knowing that their body's going to be exposed. It's different when it's Jennifer Lawrence and stuff like that. So in the past, with the fappening and stuff like that, I have steered away from, I'll admit, I'm intrigued, I'm interested, I'd like to see them, but I haven't actually gone out of my way to look at these nudes.
Yeah, okay.
Recently, Bella Thorne was getting threatened by some anonymous person. Blackmailed or whatever. That they were going to release her nudes if she didn't do whatever. She didn't comply with whatever they wanted. That's part's irrelevant. Yeah. But then she decided to release them herself to
beat him to the punch, or basically.
Beat him to the punch, or, own her sexuality, or whatever you want to frame it.
Which I think was probably the smartest thing.
Sure, no, that's fine. I disagree with that. The moral question I have to ask now is it moral to look at the nudes, considering that she released them herself, or because they were still going to be released as negative, like it's released in a negative notion, should I still retain my moral fiber of not looking at the nudes, even though technically by my own standards she is releasing them into the public full well knowing of her own volition, regardless of what her intent is. The intent is that she's okay with the world seeing these private pictures. And I was having a moral dilemma question with my friend, and I was curious, and I was just trying to explore. I still have not looked at the nudes, and that's coming a big grasp for me, because I am a sucker for redheads, super hard, and she is definitely someone that I could be.
I don't know if she's a natural redhead. I mean, maybe
it doesn't.
She may not have a soul. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Right. Well, if she has a soul, then she's not a redhead.
Fucking red hair. It don't fucking matter.
They do.
Regardless of that, I was curious. What's your take? Because you might have your own moral.
Okay, first of all, I hate morals. Well, I'll be more specific because I've said it before. I hate trying to push your morals on someone else, but
I'm not.
So I will talk about your morals in regards to you, since that's what the question is about.
Well, I was wondering what's yours.
Mine?
I mean, you feel free to explore my morality.
I'm not going to look at it,
but I'm not going to budge. But I'm just wondering what's your perspective on that situation.
I personally will not look at it, or I won't actively search it. There's a chance it could just be thrown in my face.
Yeah, sure. So if you happen to be on 4chan or something like that.
Yeah, something. I mean, it could even easily be like on Facebook. I mean, the post will get deleted, but it could still happen.
You never know.
Yeah. And the reason is because I still feel like she doesn't want the nudes out there. She just had to do it just to, basically fuck you to the blackmailer, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I could argue against that logic, but okay, yeah.
I don't think she initially like I said, I just don't think she initially wanted the nudes out there. Like if she, had fun doing them and wants the public to see them, then sure, whatever.
Well, she might have had fun taking them when it was for her significant other at the time, maybe. But that's not really the same context.
Yeah, they weren't, but it wasn't for the public.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
But, I mean, I'm not gonna, look down on anybody who does want to look at it. Like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
They're out there. If you want to look, then fucking look. I'm gonna get pissed at anybody who does have, a moral problem with other people looking.
Well, yeah, but that's not going to be really anything, because you can't really stop people just because you have a moral decision to not.
No, in fact, if you have a moral decision to not do it and you look down on others who do want to look at it,
I definitely look down on people.
No, fuck you.
Because you have no willpower. You have to be a stronger human being.
No, let them fucking look.
No.
Just stop taking away their liberty.
No, they have to be
taking away their liberty.
They have to be as good of a human as I am.
Okay, all right, yeah.
That is not that high. Well, actually, no. I have some pretty high
low barometer.
It's a low barometer in some, and it's a high in others.
Okay, all right.
I'm a complicated human, Ken. I don't appreciate being reduced to low standards of morality.
This is the lowest of standards. You're right now. You're negative. You're being negatively judged by my morals.
I want to see that graph with the overlay of the graph of me in the negative for your graph. Just like layers and layers of bullshit.
It's just a bunch of Venn diagrams all circling around each other. But I mean, I don't know. In your morals, I feel like it would be similar to mine, where the intent was not for the public initially.
Yeah,
and even while doing it, it's not for the public. It's
I mean, it is. Because that's in the action. Twitter's pretty public.
No, it is.
Twitter's pretty public.
It's public, but it's not for the public. It's still private pictures. It's just to show the person who's like threatening her or blackmailing her that she's not going to take that shit.
Yeah, that they have no power over her.
Yeah.
I get it. But like I say about a lot of things, actions speak more to what your intent is than just saying it. I agree with your statement that it's taking power away from them, and that wasn't the initial intent. But by doing so, she has made it available for the public. Just like I would say that you can't say you're not racist if you're hanging black people, but you can say you're not racist if you're not hanging black people.
What are you talking about? What if you wanted to hang someone who just happens to be black, just so you could like stop a disease?
Then you're
spreading?
A murderer. Then I'm not a racist, and I could agree with that statement, but that doesn't mean I agree with your actions.
Okay, yes, completely agree there. But no, because I feel like your moral comes more from intent instead of action.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Well, yeah, I guess it's a mix of the both. But I feel like, I don't know. Maybe it is like, just an equal amount of both.
Yeah, because like otherwise, then like you might as well just look at nudes for anybody who that's leaked into the public, even if they didn't post it.
I guess that does make sense for intent, because then if there's no action for them to have taken, then intent is all that they have. But to be fair, with that mentality, I haven't looked at those nudes, so I'm still in my own morality. I'm still within the framework.
You're still green, okay?
Yeah, I'm still good. I'm still good. But you're right. In this particular scenario, I do contradict myself, and I will admit that. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So I mean, I think in terms of, at least I would say, in regards to your morals, that it's still more moral to not look at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So keep doing nothing.
Do nothing.
Yeah. That's usually my motto with a lot of things is do nothing. It's really easy. Most people do it. But for some reason, whenever someone fucks something up, it's because they didn't do nothing.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, somebody just overextended doing nothing, which is doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, like if somebody throws it in your face or whatever, then, you know, enjoy.
Then I'm going to jack off.
All right, there we go. All right. It just happened to be there, okay?
My hand just happens to be in my hand. My dick just happens to be in my hand.
Yeah, your dick just happened to be in your hand. The picture just happened to be in front of you. You didn't search it out. You didn't plan for this to happen.
I didn't give my phone to somebody else, tell them to look up Bella Thorne, and then hand me back my phone without telling me that they didn't get rid of the pictures.
Now on to the other part of that story that we were also kind of... This, I think, we disagreed more on. Okay. I normally like Whoopi Goldberg. She's one of my favorite, just actors in general.
Yeah,
I love Whoopi Goldberg.
Ken doesn't watch movies.
Yeah, I don't know shit all about movies.
Unless it's like an animated kids movie, but she's not...
I love kids movies, man. Okay, but fuck Whoopi Goldberg. I think that she was wrong with what she said about Bella Thorne.
Again, I think this is a nuanced conversation, which I'm going through with you. But...
Actually, hold on. Sorry. I just want to interrupt for a moment. I just want to tell them what Whoopi Goldberg said. Now,
sure,
I don't know.
Preface it.
Yeah, I don't know it verbatim, but she basically said something along the lines of, in this age of social media and things,
people getting hacked and
people
stuff like
getting hacked so easily. Yeah. You should be more careful. Or not even.
She didn't say careful. She was just like,
don't participate in that kind of stuff at all.
Exactly.
Don't take nudes. Or if you do take nudes, I guess delete them right away. Yeah. Something like that.
Okay. And with that, again, I agree with her sentiment of the fact of like, if you don't want, I think it should be more framed with, because you're stopping early, I think, in her. Okay. I'm reading into this a little bit.
Okay.
But
read in.
With her statement, I think you cut what her sentiment is short by saying, by leaving out the fact that if you don't want this to happen, then don't take nudes of yourself and send it to your partners. Yes. Because then that leaves an opportunity to have your shit hacked and your nudes be released. And my example of that, even though there's no demand for my nudes, is that I have not taken a dick pic and sent it to a woman. And it's very easy for me to say that there are no dick pics that I don't want released that could be released on the internet. Yeah. And thus, by Whoopi Goldberg's logic, I am clean because there's no chance for something like this that happened to Bella Thorne to happen to me.
Also, like, nobody cares about dick pics. Like,
say that, but who knows? I mean, you don't want your dick pic out on the internet for everyone to see.
If let's say somebody threatened me, like, so let's say I send my dick pic out, okay? And somebody threatens me with 100, tells me, give me $100 or I'm going to release your dick pic.
Okay.
I would tell them, give me $100 or I'm sending you one dick pic for every minute for 100 minutes.
You're never going to find them. It's an anonymous thing.
I'm just going to keep sending more and more dick pics out, okay? Whoever's threatening me.
That's a okay. You can't track them down. They're hacking you, Ken. You're not a hacker. You're not going to be able to find them.
However, they're contacting me. Like they're gonna
an anonymous burner phone that they're gonna toss out the minute you start spamming them with dick pics.
They're gonna still want
then they're gonna have more dick pics to release.
That's fine.
They're gonna have multiple angles. They're gonna start putting freaking little measurements next to it and like objects for fucking relevance.
They can do all of that.
They're gonna put plantains next to your dick.
I'll do it for them.
It's still gonna look small.
Yeah. They're probably gonna start like deep fake, because they got enough data samples so they can start like deep faking my penis.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Because I think you need more than one picture for deep fakes, but yeah.
Just for reference for the AI.
Yeah, for the AI.
But yeah, I mean, I disagree if Whoopi Goldberg's sentiment was that, fuck you, you're the bad person for even taking pictures of your nude self. I disagree with that, but in the concept of if you don't want this bullshit to happen to you, especially as a celebrity, I think even more is more poignant. Don't don't take just if you want someone to see your naked body, do it in person, because you know what, this world is very fickle and nobody can guarantee your privacy. And with that particular statement, I agree with. But if it's the other one where she's just kind of slut shaming her on the low, then I'm kind of disagree with it, because it's like people in theory could do whatever they want with their bodies, and that's fine. But if you're going to complain about getting hacked and having your tits all over the place, or in this case, my dick, the best...
I'm telling you, nobody cares about dicks. The dick pics on the market are oversaturated and undervalued.
Let me put it this way. The person that's having their dick pic released cares, and that's really what we're caring about, is the person whose body is being exploited, not the people that are viewing the body. I'm just saying.
Just post it on the internet yourself. Okay, anyways.
But that's not the point of this.
Look at Bella Thorne as an example, as a hero, okay?
Sure.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Go ahead. Now it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, like, if anybody threatens you with, like, releasing your nudes to the public...
but you're dancing around the actual thing. You wanted to talk about Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You're just saying...
I think Whoopi Goldberg is wrong.
Person. Yeah. Okay, well, there you go.
I think Whoopi Goldberg is wrong. I think if somebody wants to take nude pictures of themselves, they should fucking do it. Damn the consequences. Cause fuck. What, you're not going to learn to ride a bike in case you fall?
Yeah, but I think it's... Okay, again, this is my perspective on what she was saying, what Whoopi Goldberg was saying. But you can't complain about it and do it at the same time. You know what I mean? You can't be like... You can't eat McDonald's every single day and be like, no, I'm so fat. It's like, you're eating garbage every single fucking day. Hey, take responsibility for your actions.
What are you talking about? You could totally do that. I do that all the time. I eat McDonald's all the time.
Yeah,
and I say
you're
that
fat
I'm fat.
Fuck. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm not denying that I'm fat. I'm not denying that McDonald's doesn't make me fat.
It's the fact that you aren't taking responsibility. It's like you have a negative opinion of something. You are okay with being a fat.
Yeah.
That's specific to you.
Okay.
I'm saying somebody who eats like you is a disgusting fat slob, but also hates themselves for being a disgusting fat slob, but then while they're crying eats more cheeseburgers. No, take responsibility for yourself, put down the cheeseburger, eat something healthy at the very least. Just start there. Don't even worry about going to the gym and stuff like that. Just eat some fucking food that you made for yourself at home and not fast food. Start there. And then you can talk about complaining. But until then, you cannot tell me that you're going to... Well, you will, because you're a fucking gay troll. But
fuck you.
I will not accept a complainer who also does not take responsibility for the actions they've done to them. I'm miserable, but I take responsibility for the fact that I'm sad and miserable.
I wouldn't say take responsibility. Just acknowledge where the problem is coming from. Like, I'm not saying
acknowledging it and still bitching is nothing.
No,
that's fucking a waste of time.
Everyone has problems that they are just too lazy to deal with. Like, fucking everyone. Okay,
I disagree. If you're constantly bitching about a problem that is a problem that could be solved with not a crazy amount of action, I'm not talking about like spending fuck tons of money. I'm saying like within the means of a normal human being, which is pretty reasonable for a lot of things, and then still bitching about it is where I disagree.
Look, I'm sure the greatest minds on earth still have problems that they just did not care to deal with. They knew what the problem was, they knew where it stemmed from, and they just did not care to deal with it.
Again, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Those people are understanding it and disregarding it and not complaining about it. I'm talking about people who bitch and complain and continue to fuel their own problems.
They need to problem. No, complaining is totally fine.
No, you're not listening. Complaining and acknowledging that you have a problem and then doing nothing about it and continuing complaining, you have no right to complain. because you are acknowledging that there is an issue and there's a problem, and doing zero to take responsibility for your thing. While
you make
also
that sound like that's a problem.
Well, I think I don't think you have a right to complain. I think you have your complaint card should be revoked.
You and I have different perspective on this, because what really pisses me off is when people don't acknowledge what the problem is.
Yeah, but being naive is not as bad to me as someone who blatantly disregards the truth while also being smart enough to know what to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you and I have different perspectives on this.
Like being dumb and out of the loop because you're not educated in whatever variation, I can deal with, because you could always be more educated. But someone who's so curmudgeon and up their own ass that they feel entitled to have everyone listen to their bitching and complaining, but also doesn't want to get up and do anything about the problem that they clearly know the answers to, fuck you.
What if they're complaining about the fact that they're so lazy to deal with the problem?
You better be crippled to that you can't actually do anything about it. Not like, and this is talking in a physical aspect, but I mean, like, there better be something stopping you from being able to do it, and then you can complain about it.
No, there's almost, I don't want to say for all problems, but for most problems people, spectrum. Yeah, I would say for most problems people have, they can almost always do something about it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, actually fix it, not just, like, work towards a solution. Because working towards a solution is a completely different ballpark. That requires, like, long-term effort and stuff like that. I'm talking about things you can clearly acknowledge that are a problem, and you clearly realize what the solution is, and then, but you just keep bitching about it without doing anything about it.
That's like the best part. That's the most fun part.
That's a person who is a piece of shit.
Okay.
I would rather take someone, okay, let's take the fat example, right?
Okay, all right.
I would rather take someone who is who eats McDonald's every day, complains about being fat, right? And then they start going to the gym and still complains about being fat. I'd accept that more, because at least you're working towards something, than someone who's like, no, I'm so fat, while they shove a whole fucking cheeseburger in their mouth and they got two more sitting next to them and they have no intention of not eating those other cheeseburgers.
Well, I think in your example, they would say something like, oh, no, I'm so fat. But, it's all because I keep fucking eating McDonald's, but I just don't want to fucking stop.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah.
But yes, and maybe there's some psychological problems with this person in this particular example, but I mean, just like people who just like, because you sounded sad. I'm talking about people who are like indignant about it. Be like, I'm fat.
I was literally just trying to copy your voice.
Well, fair enough. I guess that's what I sound like.
Well, you had the character voice there.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, it wasn't your voice. I mean, it was a voice coming from you.
I just don't like people who feel entitled to complain, but are aware of what the issue is and what it takes to fix it. And I feel like there's enough information out there for people to figure that out. I don't know.
Like, what makes me mad are like the people that I don't know. I guess this is kind of different though.
Like you would be pissed off more by someone who didn't realize that McDonald's was garbage food and kept eating it and wondered why they were fat.
Yeah, like there's that. But there's also like people who are like proud of being fat because they think it's a good thing. Like, if you want to be proud of being fat, that's fine.
Are you talking about like the Tessa Holiday?
Tessa Holiday is who came to my mind, yeah. If you want to be proud of being fat, that's fine. As long as you acknowledge it's not a good... It's like being proud of smoking. It's just like, that's fine.
I'm 75 and I haven't died from lung cancer yet.
Yeah, like it's fine. Acknowledge that smoking is not a good thing to, it's unhealthy. You can be proud of it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start saying... I'm proud of smoking, and
I'm in the best shape of my life at 85.
Yeah, then we have a problem.
Yeah, no, okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah, like just fucking like Tess Holiday. Like if Tess Holiday wants to be like a fat model who's like, she does like plus size shoots and she's fucking wealthy and shit, it's fine. But
that's capitalism. If there's a market for it, then so be it.
But at the point where she's saying like, oh, I'm, it's healthy for me to be at this weight or some dumb shit like that. Okay, now you're being just a dumb bitch.
Yeah, now they're trying to force the narrative into the perspective that is acceptable for them, right?
Yes.
I agree with that statement too. It's like you're still unhealthy. That's fine if this is your job, and that's fine if this is how you choose to live your life, but people aren't supposed to look like that. And the reason why I know that is because most of the world doesn't look like that.
Most of the world has almost never looked like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially before the modern age with an excess amount of food.
Yes, well, now I need to cross pro-fatness out of my triggers. I didn't expect to bring that
one up.
I
mean, you could just preface it.
I'll bring some other examples when I do want to bring it in,
sure.
and Are
you gonna give it like a couple days break, or are you just gonna do it later?
You know what? I had no intention of. Well, I mean, it's not going to be a couple days because we only do this once a week.
Whatever episodes.
But, yeah, I had no intention of bringing it in for like a couple months.
Well, let it die and let it sit.
Yeah. So, well, I'll bring in more examples of that later.
Okay.
Do you want to play the game?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to give it? What's the title we decided on? There's
which one is fake news? I think that's what I said. I can't remember anymore.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I think that was it.
Okay, whatever. We'll work on the title later.
But I like which one is fake news. I think that's a good start.
If anybody has any suggestions that you're willing to give us, then fucking
3 years from now, when people start listening to the podcast, hey, I got a suggestion for you.
After we drop this bit. Okay, all right. Okay, so the premise of this game is I have multiple articles, like of news, not clothing, and I say the titles to Shane. And he has to decide which one of these is fake.
Yeah.
All right.
And I only have to get to judge it based on the title. I don't get to read the article. I have to take the summary of the article via the title and guess.
Maybe in the future we can initiate some kind of what is it? Is it Lifeline? What they use in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we need to call it something else, like you're a little bit more of a bitch line, something like that.
I was thinking of like. There's got to be something to do with like sniffing out like the truth.
Yeah, no, it does. But I'm just saying the title of it, and I don't know what that would be. Like maybe reading the first sentence or something. I don't know. But anyways,
we'll work on it. I like the title start. I think it's simplistic, and then we don't get too hung up on the actual article. I have to make a decision quick enough. Are we doing 3?
I have. You know what? I'm gonna say 3 because one of these. I just feel like wouldn't work with this.
All right.
So I'm gonna say 3. Okay. So now, the first one. It's no longer illegal to challenge someone to a duel in Canada.
Okay.
All right. Next one. Special ops team raids local office after receiving intel on expired fire extinguisher. And the third one. Russian Defense Ministry claims Metal Gear video game is U.S. intelligence project.
Okay. I know the third one's real already.
Okay.
Because I've been keeping up with some news stuff, and I've already heard about this article. So
okay, I gotta remember not to bring new game stuff in next time.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be in on that stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, go far politics, and I'll probably not have heard it. There's
but I feel
more
like
of a chance.
But I feel like the other two are kind of harder. Like it's harder to distinguish.
Yeah, a little bit. I want to hear the second one again.
Okay. Special ops team raids local office after receiving intel on expired fire extinguisher.
Yeah, both those first ones sound too dumb to be like
I know.
Real. In this day and age, like dueling, like in America, I could see it being like, oh yeah, we still have dueling, right? Like that makes sense to me. But to be like, it's a new thing of dueling in Canada where it's already a pain in the ass to own a firearm, I feel like is already bullshit. But a crazy overreaction for a fire extinguisher, like if someone said they had a bomb or something
100%.
or drugs, I'd be like, yeah, special ops team. But for a fire extinguisher, that's like that's a safety inspector, not a fucking special ops team. So both of those sound pretty fucking stupid.
But sometimes the government is also really dumb.
Yeah.
And they overextend for dumb shit.
I don't know, man. My inclination is to go with the first one.
Which one's the first?
The dueling. Canada dueling. Because it just, for our day and age, it just seems like why would they implement dueling now? It's like we have a justice system for a reason. Dueling has been like kind of superseded by innocent till proven guilty, I think is a better strategy than did you kill the man? Yes, you're not guilty.
Well,
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Final answer.
I'm gonna go. Okay. Final answer. The first one is not real.
Okay, wrong. It was the
the
fire
second?
extinguisher.
Oh god, see that one's just as dumb too.
Yeah, I know they're both really.
But it's
dumb.
a little bit more likely just because someone gets freaking doxxed and the fucking SWAT shows up swatted and SWAT shows up to their house while they're playing video games.
And I mean, like, if I were in your position, I could also jump to other conclusions like. The SWAT team is there because somebody said the fire extinguisher is a weapon or something like that. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Now, the dueling one, admittedly, I searched on multiple websites because I just could not believe it was real. But It's real, and not only is
it to a specific part of Canada, or is it like a federal
I
thing?
couldn't find too much information about it.
Okay.
But like
that's hilarious that it's real and you couldn't find any information about it.
And also like there's a bunch. So there's some news articles released recently saying it's now legal.
Okay.
And there's like news articles from like a year and 2 years ago saying the government is working on making it legal.
Okay.
So they've been at it for a little while now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do like this article though. So I don't have too much information, so I won't go too deep into it. The last historical record where somebody died from a duel was on June 13th, 1833.
Okay.
In Ontario.
Okay.
Total number of dueling incidents is around 300. Okay, so this is between 1600s and 1948.
Yeah, when they could actually keep track of it.
Yeah, it was about 300, and I guess it got banned around 1948 then. Okay. That's the last...
when it became civil.
Yeah. But here are some other weird laws that were apparently, amended or something like that. Dueling wasn't the only oddball amendment to Canada's criminal justice system, so here are some other ones.
Okay.
And I'll tell you which one's my favorite soon. Advertising a reward for the return of stolen property.
What? That's illegal? Like, if I lost my dog and said $500 reward, someone stole my dog, it's illegal for me to do that?
I suppose
or
so.
Or it was
yeah.
illegal? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That's fucking the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Possessing, printing, distributing, or publishing crime comics.
What?
That seems really dumb.
That's so fucking... What the hell? Dude, that's fucking... You basically can't even have a Batman comic at that point. That's Detective Comics. That's still crime.
Yeah. Maybe these were repealed at some time.
Well, I know, but these are all ones that were amended recently.
No, I think these might have been amended a little while ago.
Well, still, within recent memory,
weird,
which means that within our life, at least most of our life, some of these things have been fucking illegal.
Pretty much. Publishing blasphemous libel. I don't even know why they amended that, but I guess free speech, whatever.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, people do that with anything pretty much, where it's bullshit.
This one is my favorite. Fraudulently pretending to practice witchcraft, which means that it was legal to practice witchcraft if you were actually doing it.
Yeah. So you could be Wiccan and you could light candles and do dances.
Yeah.
But you couldn't
pretend to do it.
You couldn't mock somebody doing it.
Yeah, which I think is fucking
hilarious. Let me read. Hold on, let me read that. I'll make sure that you're reading that correctly. Where's that?
That's the one I highlighted.
Yeah, that's what it says. Fraudulently pretending to practice witchcraft.
Yeah.
Wow.
I read that a bunch of times. So part of me still doesn't even believe this is real, but there were multiple news articles on it.
I'll let you finish this one off. The last one. The last one's still really stupid too.
Trading stamps, which whatever.
That's so... Like, who would do that in the first place? No one's gonna honor a freaking stamp unless it comes from the government anyways.
Who fucking cares about stamps now?
I know, but still. Yeah. It's so dumb.
Yeah, I know. These are all dumb shit.
Sadly, the dueling one makes the most sense out of all of that.
Like I said, part of me believes that this is... Part of me still believes this is fake, but like I said, I saw multiple sources on it, so whatever.
And again, that's for all of Canada. It didn't specify, like...
I'm imagining all of Canada, but it does not specify.
Because I could imagine being like Nova Scotia, like not specifically Nova Scotia, but one province being like, no, we want dueling. You know what I mean? And then them being like, okay, fine, have your fucking dueling. You're for the one person that's gonna want to duel somebody every year, go for it.
Just fucking go for
it. I'll take the one murder on the chin, Canada says.
There might still be rules about like no killing someone, so maybe like dueling to injure, but not dueling to kill.
Great, you shot me in the knee.
Yeah, that's right.
What a fucking life.
Let's read the fucking fire extinguisher one.
All right.
Let's see. This is only like one paragraph. But I won't read the whole thing.
Well, it is fake, so it doesn't really need a lot of information, does it?
Breach teams crashed simultaneously through multiple windows with drawn M4 carbines Thursday to launch an occupational safety and health administration raid on a local office.
Yes, if you read that, then I would have included
100%.
Occupational raid on place of business.
Yeah. So this is apparently what one of the special ops guys said. Stay down, you non-flame retardant motherfuckers. Hands on the backs of your heads.
Nice.
Hell, okay. And then he initiates the raid through a series of complex hand signals before launching a flashbang grenade into a mid-sized advertising agency's kitchenette. This is the last part I'll read of this. He then says, "Don't move an inch, you four-alarm shitheads, or I'll activate your corporate dental plans and help you with your permanent disability paperwork."
Nice.
Yeah, that's the fake news one.
Yeah.
Let's read. You already know about we'll save the Metal Gear one for the end. There's this other one.
We can go over for the audience, because, I mean, whatever. I only know the gist of it. Okay. I get the idea of it pretty quick, but if you want to just talk about it because it's news and whatever, go for it.
Okay. So, the Russian intelligence thinks that the Metal Gear games were created by the U.S., well, by the United States, or United States government, to incite, I feel like I'm going to burp, to incite protesting against Russian government by Russian people. So they think it's meant to indoctrinate Russian civilians.
Yeah.
To like go against their government, basically.
Yeah, okay.
There's a couple things wrong with that. First of all, the games were made in Japan.
Yeah. Right off the bat. By Japanese people.
Yeah, not in America.
Yeah.
A lot of the games also deal with American corporate, or not corporate, like government espionage.
Yeah.
So
like internally,
yeah,
within themselves.
So there's a lot of like U.S. government fuckery going on.
There is one of the games, I believe, that does take place in Russia, or has like Russia as like I don't want to say bad guy, but like as part of the whole conspiracy and like government organization stuff. But it's not the consistent one. Like every single fucking game.
Yeah,
is
it's
Russia,
not.
Russia,
It's not
Russia.
a consistent narrative
Yeah.
for them. I think, but it's possible there might be like Russian bad guy. Actually, no, in Metal Gear Solid 2, I believe Olga Gorlukovich is a Russian character.
Yeah.
And she helps you. I might be spoiling the part of the game here, but she helps you stop a plot by the American government, if I recall correctly. So, like, clearly, like, the person who thought that that Metal Gear was made to target Russians is like doesn't know Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any information about like where the article came from? Like what news source it came from? Or
let me see what I
was it
have
like an
here.
Independent, or was it like a state-run news organization that was just looking for news that day?
It was the Russian Deputy Defense Minister. It was his claim. So
wow, that sounds so stupid, dude. Yeah. Like, I have such high regard for most of the Russians being sneaky and smart and shit like that.
Yeah, like
to say that Metal Gear was made by Americans when Kojima's a Japanese dude who doesn't speak English, and it was made in Japan by Konami, who's like super hard Japanese. Like, I don't know how you could get that fucking confused. Like, yeah, they might like American stuff, but it's a hard sell to say that they're fucking American.
I've never heard any evidence that Russia didn't interfere in America's election better than this. Okay, if they can't fucking get this right, there's no way they did shit.
Trump comes out and be like, "Look, guys, Russia got fucking Metal Gear fucked up. They definitely didn't help me get elected.
They didn't do shit. Right? Yeah, they can't fucking get this.
The new Panama Papers are gonna be this article.
Yes,
disproving the Russian meddling."
Fucking, like, this guy could have just gone on YouTube and seen a Let's Play.
He could have picked a game done by America that would have done. He could have picked. He could have picked DICE. They're not even Japanese or American, but I could have bought that they were doing games, putting Russia as the bad guys, because like in every other game other than like Battlefield 4, it's like Russia.
Yeah, there we
Nazis, and then now it's China.
He should have said it was Pepsi Man, the games that was trying to conspire against Russia.
Which, again, is another, like, Japanese-specific thing, too.
Yeah. So, it's so mind-boggling that, like, this guy said something like that.
Must have been a really slow day at the office.
Yeah.
He knows that Putin's not playing Metal Gear, so he's like, this is an easy one. Look, the hero is white.
Yeah.
Looks vaguely Asian, but he's white.
Maybe he just thought, oh, this tiny ass Metal Gear game, this will just build propaganda against the Americans. Everyone will just ignore the actual game and believe me.
Maybe he's a gamer and he knows that Metal Gear's dead. He's like, I can get away with this.
Yeah.
No one's gonna play Metal Gear anymore.
Yeah, no. Well, when Russian citizens start building giant robots to attack the government, I guess they'll be the ones laughing at us.
I guess so.
Yeah, so But until that happens.
Was there anything else about it, or was it just specifically about the game that they were talking about? Like, were they trying to tie it into like, look, America's adopting these like technologies and shit like that? Like, they weren't trying to like allude to anything else. It's just straight that it's American propaganda made by Japanese people.
According to
not according
to this article,
Russian propaganda made by Japanese people.
So this article is actually got kind of annoyed at this article because like it's fairly short. It's not a long article, so it's about 5 or 6 paragraphs. But like the guy only said one small statement, and the rest of the article. So he has one paragraph explaining what's wrong with the guy's statement, and the rest of the article, like all the other paragraphs, just talk about the video game. It just talks about Metal Gear.
Did you get that from a gaming site?
Polygraph.info. I don't
Polygraph?
Yeah.
No, I thought you said Polygon for a second.
Yeah, no, Polygon would have made more sense. Actually, I feel like if it was a gaming website, they would have dived more into what the guy said and not so much about the video game. This is from like a website where people don't know as much about video games, so I think the author might have
try to give context of what the game was and stuff like that. Is. Yeah. I suppose, yeah. I would expect that more from a gaming site that was like, this is vaguely related to gaming. I can just talk about Metal Gear for 8 paragraphs and this for 2.
Yeah. Fuck, it could go either way, man. But I just felt really frustrated reading this article because I'm like for like 4 paragraphs, I'm just like, fuck, man, like you're like everything you're saying has absolutely nothing to do with what the defense minister said. Like, give me something to work off of here,
Yeah.
So it does briefly mention this, which I guess does kind of answer your question. As for dissatisfaction with the authorities, the series' plot do contain themes critical of governments, but the criticism is often aimed at all governments, including that of the U.S.
Yeah. So, heavily with the U.S. too, from what I recognize or remember. Sorry.
Oh, hey, yeah, they even mentioned Metal Gear Solid 2 here. So, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 was the only one that I played from start to finish.
Honestly, I have yet to play any of them start to finish. I tried playing the first one and I was garbage at it, and then I just moved on with my life.
They're not great.
I can appreciate them from afar, and I've gotten a good rundown of what the lore of Metal Gear is, and I like the idea and the themes, and I like Kojima's games. I've either played some of the other ones, or like the games that aren't Metal Gear that he's made, or watched Let's Plays of them, and they're interesting, and they're always like kind of like Quentin Tarantino, where it's like they're interesting to watch just because it's coming from an interesting person.
Yeah.
Same thing. A lot of his games are very interesting because he puts so much thought into it.
He puts an insane amount of thought into it.
There's a game that came out just after Metal Gear 1 or just before Metal Gear Solid 1. Sorry, Metal Gear Solid came out before or after Metal Gear Solid 1 called Police Knots, and it's a game about a colony in space that's not on Earth, and they take into account that gravity is such a impactful force that the people that are living on this new utopian like space station or planet in space basically have to take constant pills and stuff like that
to deal with the gravity.
To deal with gravity and stuff like that. Like, they have gravity on the planet, but the gravity's not right. So everyone's bones are super brittle and
I see what
shit
you're
like
saying.
that.
Yeah.
And only someone like Kojima would go as far as, not only am I going to set it in space for the setting, I'm going to take into account the fact that space fucks you up. And then there's a whole, like, not government conspiracy, but sort of government conspiracy going along with the drug that they're giving to everybody that are living on this colony, that are kind of like not addicted to it, but have to take it in order to survive on this colony. So it's all incorporated into the game. So Kojima himself is very interesting. In his concepts and stuff like that.
Well, he's very good at these like very meta like subplots going on and whatnot.
Detail. Very, very heavy on the detail. And that's what makes the game feel like alive and fleshed out and stuff like that.
Yeah. Although I'm told the Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5 kind of lack that detail.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're pretty heavy in story, and they do have like meta subplots, but it like my friends who have played them have said like it very much feels like Kojima just doesn't want to continue with the series.
He just wants to be done. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe they're wrong, but
maybe that's. I feel like I haven't played them, but from an exterior, I can understand what you're saying with the lack of like detail orientation with 4 and 5. Where there, I felt he went more direct with just like the obvious big story beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with the Patriots in 4 being like, he wasn't dancing around the subject of it's a bunch of fucking brains in jars controlling armies so they can wage war infinitely kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, there was no philosophical.
Yeah, well, no, there is philosophical questions, but there's no like nuance hidden under the rug for you to appreciate. The nuance is right in front of you, waiting for you to ask the questions for yourself. You know what I mean? Whereas, like I said with metal, like Police Knots, it's like no one would even think of these things. And like, who would like think about it in a video game normally? Do you care that you're in space and there's different gravity? No one ever thinks about it. You go to like Star Wars like that. Every planet has the same gravity.
Yeah, every planet they can just house humans.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that in Star Wars. Who cares? It's just a plot detail that we just need to get over. So that we can have these cool, interesting settings between aliens. But realistically, every planet's shape, size, the amount of planets in the solar system, how big the stars, how many stars they have, are all contributing factors.
It probably should do something, but it's established in the Star Wars that it's dealt with.
It's loose. It's loose in Star Wars, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
The less needs to be explained. Tatooine's a sand planet with 2 stars.
Whatever.
Good. I'm happy. Makes no sense that anyone should be able to live on there. Cool. Saudi Arabia can be lived in, so can Tatooine.
They're pretty much the same place.
Same place, dude. I see sand. I see sand.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. And I mean, but he doesn't even work with fucking Konami anymore, does he?
No. He's
he like stormed out or something, or maybe not stormed out, but he quit.
He quit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's working directly. He has his own studio.
Oh, that's right.
But I think he's directly working for Sony on Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot he's doing Death Stranding with Norman Reedus and
Mads Mikkelsen.
No, it's not the name I was thinking.
Guillermo del Toro.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's
he's a bit. Apparently, he's just. They just scanned his body, and he's not actually like doing the voice for his own character.
Oh,
so it's like
okay.
Like I'm sure he's having like Guillermo del Toro is having perhaps some creative like injection into it, but I don't think he's a major part of it. I think it's just like he's a flavor. You know what I mean?
To be honest, because I didn't know anything about Death Stranding, I thought he was taking more of a role, like a writing role in the game.
That's not what I've come to understand, but I haven't looked into it super deep. I feel like it's a Kojima thing. It's just people who are appreciative of Kojima's
attention to detail,
brilliance.
Yeah. He is a brilliant man.
Like, just the level of art that he creates. I think other people who also create that kind of art, like Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen, who do a wide varying degrees of art, can appreciate that and want to be a part of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Same thing with Norman Reedus. Like, he was all on board to do Silent Hills, and that's the reason why he's doing Death Stranding. It's just because he just wants to work with Kojima, because Kojima is a fucking cool dude.
Was it Silent Hill? Was that...
Silent Hills. Yeah, Kojima's going to do the new Silent Hill game. It was going to be called Silent Hills. Remember PT?
I remember PT. Was that a Silent Hill beta?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't think I knew that.
That's the whole thing, is once you beat PT, it's a picture of Norman Reedus.
That I
Silent Hill's coming soon.
Oh, shit. Okay, all right. Yeah. Do you still have PT?
I do, yeah. I'm never going to delete it off my console because I don't think you can ever...
the value of your console.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I think it'll break before I get a chance to sell it, but I just like having it, and I like doing it where every Halloween I play it.
Okay.
I don't think I did it last year, but every year before that, I would always like, if I was going to go to a friend's house for Halloween, I'd always bring it over or something like that, and then we'd play it.
We need to, at some point, invite someone who doesn't know shit all about horror games to play it, and we'll just tell them it's called Party Time.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to go over for too long well, but sure.
It'll work for the first 2 or 3 minutes.
We should get someone who actually likes horror. And horror movies to play it unsuspecting and unknowingly, but I think that would be a better scenario than taking someone who doesn't like that stuff and then trying to throw them into it.
And on that note, you and I don't like the same horror movies. I think
you like garbage base level fucking like.
I want to be scared. You watch horror movies that are not scary.
No, I watch them. They're scary. They're just subtle.
No,
you just
The
fall
Witch
asleep.
is not the Witch. The Witch or whatever. It's not a scary movie. Hereditary, not a scary movie.
It's scary.
It's not
intense,
scary.
Yeah. Ask anyone else. It's rated. Hereditary specifically is rated one of the highest horror movies in like the last.
I know it's rated highly, but it's not scary.
It is. You just aren't invested in it and get bored very easily.
Look, I watched that entire movie. Okay, I paid attention.
I'm telling you. you are an outlier, and you are not a gauge for the horror movies that are being made.
You like nowadays. Horror movies that like have these like long psychological torture. That's
scary.
Yeah, that's not scary.
Yeah, it is.
It's boring as fuck.
No, I'm telling you, you're talking about just Saw. Hereditary's got more than just gore.
Saw, because I do like Saw 1.
But again, that's like it's barely psychological in that.
But Saw 1 payoff at the end was a lot better.
Yeah, but that's just a twist. That's just a small little thing. That's no different than an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Hereditary, like, the ending of the movie didn't even, I don't know. I wouldn't say it came out left field because they do subtly kind of explain it, except for all the people at the end. Actually, I shouldn't even say that.
I mean, depends on how far you want to talk about it. But if you want to discuss it, we have to kind of talk about the movie.
Yeah. Well, fuck.
It's up to you. I mean, it's been out for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
how old is it?
It came out like last year.
Oh, okay.
Like the end of last year, I think.
Yeah. It's already on Netflix.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been out long enough that it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's a well-received movie generally. So the fact that it's on Netflix recently and it's good means that, you know, it did well enough to be popular and be put on Netflix, but not too popular that it's been like, we're just going to let you buy it. And that's the only way you can get it.
Well, I mean,
like Into the Spider-Verse, I don't think is on Netflix.
I think it just got on.
Oh,
Netflix.
did it just? Okay.
I think because I remember it might have been American Netflix, but I do remember reading shit where Into the Spider-Verse literally just hit Netflix.
Okay.
Like this
I have to talk about my little Canadian economy, unfortunately.
Canadian Netflix is shit.
I forget that American Netflix has a very robust catalog of things.
Way fucking better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I really don't care necessarily, but I forget that we don't all have the same internet apparently because racism.
Yeah, there we go. Just because of racism. I mean, like horror movies, even at their best, are not going to be that popular.
Yeah, what's a good horror movie? Because like you criticize mine, but I guarantee that whatever you're going to say is going to be some garbage movie that most people are going to be like, that's not even fucking scary.
You know, I don't even know what horror movie I really like. I really
think about it. If you can't think of one now, I'll give you a free pass on this podcast. But next podcast, you better come with some.
I better bring one up.
At least one, or admit the fact that you have bad taste in horror movies.
No. I have the right taste in horror movies. Hereditary is not a scary movie. It does not scare you.
It's a scary. Well, it's a horror movie. Horror doesn't need to be scary. Horror needs to be horrifying. And I think
not horrifying.
And I think a Down syndrome kid getting their head knocked off while choking is horrifying.
Yeah, but
and then seeing her head with fucking a bunch of ants rotting into it while her mother's screaming over it, I think is pretty horrifying.
Her mother doesn't scream over the
dead because she finds
she sees the body.
She sees the body, and then they take the sound from her screaming, finding the body with no head, and then it shows a clear shot of the head with rotting in the sun. I think it's a pretty horrifying image. And while I admit that the witch is not as in-your-face horror, there is a little bit at the end that kind of gets a little like unsettling with the goat and stuff like that. I'd say that's about like when it starts getting intense at the very end of the movie. I'll give you that. That's the only time where it really gets horrifying. It's more of like a really slow build. I think Hereditary more than The Witch is horrifying.
Well, Hereditary is closer to a horror film. But like even the only scene that you described where it shows the dead kid's face.
I can name more from Hereditary, dude. Okay, how about the part where the mom's fucking bashing her head while upside down on the ceiling and she's screaming while her son's like screaming and hiding from her in the
that was like
attic.
The only kind of part that I enjoyed.
And then she saws off her own fucking head looking at him.
See, the only decent parts were the jump scares.
It's not a jump scare.
That's a jump scare.
It's not a jump scare.
Especially the head scene.
She chases him up the stairs. That's not a jump scare.
She
chases him all the way from the ground floor upstairs.
Yeah,
that's
and then she just appears up there.
Yeah, after that. But then the sawing is a long scene where she appears above him, is sawing her head, and then it's...
Yeah, it's still
for like... solid like 5 to 10 seconds, and then her head falls off.
Yeah, but the jump scare is because it just quickly shows that, right?
Yeah, but that's like anything was like that. I think you say that about fucking like a Jason movie or something like that, where it's like, and then he appears from around the corner. Yeah, it's kind of jump scary, but there's still that long sequence of him following them, which is horrifying. Yeah, well, I don't find that especially horrifying because it's a slasher movie. It can be. I agree. It can be, but the fact that it starts with a jump scare doesn't immediately invalidate the fact that it's got a horrifying scene coming afterwards.
I don't even like all of the ending of Hereditary, but I do like that chase sequence where he goes up the attic and then as soon as he jumps off, my attention kind of went down.
Well, I mean, towards the end of the movie, so I mean, fair enough if your attention's losing it by the end of the
movie.
Like,
it was still, I don't know, more intrigued than the rest of it, but because like it's just like, especially like the very end of the movie, it's just like I don't understand what's going on.
Well,
I mean, they kind of explain it, but some of it does come out of left field.
I don't know. On the first viewing when I watched it, I got it all. I figured it out.
It's like a ritual almost.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it was a setup from the beginning.
It was a setup.
The whole thing was like, it wasn't gonna happen, but it was set up to happen.
Yeah. You know, it is basically. I mean, they don't outright say it, so I might be a little off here, but it's basically like the demon is like setting it up or whatever it's trying.
No, it's the cultists looking for a host for the demon,
and he's the.
Well, no, it's not even him. He is
the host.
No, he was supposed to be the host.
Then who?
Then his sister becomes the host. When then she dies, then she needs to be, like, she basically becomes the demon that takes over her brother's body as the host.
Oh, that part I missed. Like I thought he was the selected host.
He was originally, but that's they say throughout the movie that the mom's like, when the mom says that her mom,
like she couldn't get rid of the daughter.
Well, no, she had, when she was having problems with her mom, she wasn't allowing her mom to see her son.
Yeah.
Right, and because the grandmother couldn't get access to the son because the demon wants a male host.
Yeah.
Then they went down the line to the daughter, who happens to be a girl.
Yeah.
And then she basically got set up to die because all the ritual was based around her.
Okay.
That's as far as I've understood it. And then because of that, it's basically like vicariously the demon becomes part of the daughter, and then the daughter takes over the body of her brother.
She's torturing. Oh, I don't know if torturing is the right term, but at least
when she becomes like when they summon her.
No,
the seance.
No. But it's because like it was clear before that they're trying to wear him down.
Oh yeah, psychologically, yeah.
Yeah, psychologically, and then it ends up being a little more physical after that. Yeah. So, I don't think the seance might have given her more ability to do so, but if what you're saying is right, then she was wearing him down from before that as well.
Yeah, it's totally possible. There's probably a lot that I'm even missing too, but that's the gist of it that I got.
My interpretation was that he was supposed to be the host the whole time.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because Payman wants a male host, but when it's like, well, we have no other choice.
Yeah.
Now we kind of have to do a workaround.
But now that you say that, what you said makes more sense because, I mean, it was a dream sequence, but the mother did say she tried not to give birth to
yeah. And I was gonna say, I think also different horror affects different people in different ways, right? So like when we were watching, this is a bit off topic, but I don't want to stay on this next movie too much, but just going back to Hereditary for a second after I talk about this. Mother has a very specific slow burn to a very high stress environment that to some people may not be necessarily horror, but can be so stress inducing that it provokes fear emotions, right? And I think that Hereditary also has scenes like that just didn't affect you necessarily because it's not the horror that you necessarily respond to. For example, that scene when they have that dream sequence where they're having that very intense moment between a mother and a son, and they have this already like very difficult relationship, which a lot of people do, not saying you necessarily or even me, and they're having this very open conversation where the mother's like, I didn't even want to have you in the first place, which hearing that from your mother is a very difficult thing. It can be horrifying in its own way. And I just think that there might be more layers to it that might just, certain horror might just not be affecting you in a particular way. Maybe we need to find the right horror movie for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to watch like an Evil Dead and then watch like the new one
actually,
where the chick gets raped by a tree.
Maybe that might be I really like the new Evil Dead, actually.
Well, I know, but I'm trying to figure out like, what's your horror movie? Because you like Saw, but Saw's really not like
Saw is more like the movie that you described.
It's more gore, porn.
Let's talk about the first one because I actually don't like any of the Saw movies except the first one. Okay. And the first one is very different from the rest. There's not nearly as much gore.
The second one's kind of got the same vibe. I mean, it takes
a little bit. Yeah, takes a little bit further in terms of the gore and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the first one has almost no gore. Like, it's very little.
The dude saws off his foot.
Yeah.
What else? Jigsaw didn't actually get shot as the guy who's in the middle.
Blood.
I'm trying to think. No, because there was traps. Because
I think for the cops, right?
Well, they go investigate crimes where people have been trapped. Like there's the one where at the very beginning of the movie where the dude's like, it's like a maze of barbed wire.
I don't even remember.
And then you see like the thing of like it's like he's like a fat corporate dude, and he's like by the end of it he like almost makes it out, but then he's like kind of strung up.
Oh yeah, that's right. Was that in the first one?
It's like the very first trap that you see when they go into the basement.
Okay, so right? Yeah, maybe there's more gore than I'm remembering.
There's a little bit, but again, it's specific to the traps, and the traps are like these 5 to 10 minute scenes of things. Oh, okay, of torture. Here's another one. I think this is the first one. I might be wrong, but the one where the dude has to like cut out his own eye. He has a bear trap. Oh, I know what you're talking about. He ends up just getting trapped by the bear trap. But like, there's that scene of horror of like to me, I don't want to deal with shit with my eye. So for me, I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
maybe I prefer the physical torture.
That could be a thing. You might like something more like what Eli Roth does with like Hostel and stuff like that, where it's like gore porn, or even something like Human Centipede or something like that, where it's like disgusting.
I've never seen Human Centipede, but maybe I would enjoy it. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe you just have that kind of taste for horror, because I think horror, like science fiction or sci-fi, has a broad stroke spectrum that you can paint with, and then it becomes more nuanced of what kind of horror people want. So going back to this discussion, in the 80s, slasher movies was the big thing because people wanted to see a crazy person like Charles Manson going on a rampage, just murdering dumb people, right? But the one smart person gets to survive. The one innocent smart person. But that trope got played out so hard by so many people because it was such in demand that now that no one's scared about Jason or Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger even. To the point where they're having Freddy versus Jason. That's when you know that your monsters aren't being taken seriously. When you have two of them that in the same movie and none of them are scary and they're just beating the shit out of each other.
I did like that movie, but more for
action.
I would say action movie.
Exactly,
action
right?
Reasons,
There's no horror in it. That's the difference.
And there's some comedic stuff. I mean, like, there's this one scene in Freddy vs. Jason that I always tell people that I really love, where Freddy is torturing this girl in her brain, or in her dream, for, like, a good, 3 to 5 minutes, let's say. It's this sequence where he's chasing her, like, making her run away in her dream. And then she's stuck in a locker, and he's about to stab her. And then suddenly, like, a machete just comes from out of her, and Freddy is confused at what's going to happen, and then it pans out, and Jason just stabbed her. Oh. So Freddy's super fucking pissed off at Jason for taking his kill.
Yeah, after all the toying that he's done with it?
Pretty much, yeah.
See, again, you might want more of the light, not emotionally investive horror.
Yeah, I just don't.
Cabin in the Woods.
I really like Cabin in the Woods. Again, but it's not really a horror movie.
Exactly, yeah. So we gotta narrow it down slowly. We'll figure out where it is. But I was, especially from last week when we watched John Wick, I think you're more of an action person than you are a psychological horror thriller person.
Not even that much of an action person, because I don't really like the Expendables.
Yeah, but there's certain types of action, like John Wick is not the Expendables, but the Expendables is definitely like 80s action where it's big explosions, muscly men, you know what I mean? There's a certain, again, broad strokes. You could say a Jackie Chan film is an action movie, and you get to appreciate it for none of the martial arts and all of the stunt work.
Fucking the Foreigner, which we watched, we pointed out that Jackie Chan didn't even need to be in that movie. Yeah. Like, the entire plot would have happened almost the exact same way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good.
He was totally inconsequential to the plot.
Yeah.
He was just sort of there.
But it was funny. It was good to see him do something different. I like that. But it's just like, it's sad that it's like, well, didn't really have to be you or even you as a character specifically.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so we just went off onto the weeds there.
That's fine. That's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah, whatever we want. It's just bullshit. I did want to bring up this other article here.
Okay, we're going back to news?
Yeah. Well,
is it like news or is it entertainment news?
Let's see. It's a study.
Okay.
And that's kind of why I didn't want to bring it with the rest of these, because these were more like
actual news?
Yeah, things that have happened.
Okay.
This is a study on people.
All right.
So I don't know if you have heard about this. It's all over the place. New research finds that 23 to 33% of women online say that they've engaged in what's referred to as a foodie call, which I'm sure you can probably figure out.
I can figure that out, yeah. Okay.
Where they just go on a date to get a meal.
Yeah, which I've heard.
Yeah.
I've never had any friends of mine that are female do that. but I have heard of it before.
Yeah, well, mind you, it says here only like 20 to 30%, so it's not a huge. It's a significant number, but it's not huge.
A fifth of people is quite a. Sorry, a fifth of half of people is quite a bit, but it's not everyone for sure.
Yeah. This is kind of pissing me off because this has made the rounds on like a lot of men's rights.
Of course, because people like to feel fucking victimized.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they like blow it like way out of proportion. It's just like, see, women are fucking evil. They're scummy. She's like, calm down, buddy. Okay. Yeah. Like the worst case scenario here is a guy loses like $20. Okay, it's not a big deal.
Well, it could be more than that. I mean, fair enough. Nice dates, but I know what you mean.
I'd imagine between the 23 to 33% of women over $20, it's probably going to be less than 10%.
Yeah, okay.
Of those women of the times they've done it.
Yeah,
yeah. So I would imagine it's a fairly small number if it's past $20.
Yeah.
But the study was pretty good. 820 women recruited for it, so it's got a decent sample size. 40% said they were single, 33% said they were married, and 27% said they were in a committed relationship. I'm not sure if any of that has an influence on the results, but whatever.
It's strange that they would get married people. I guess from previous experience.
Well, they just get women, right? And then so the women just determine their marital status. They record it, and it's just part of it. It might be good data down the line.
Okay.
Yeah. They said that, let's see, they have, like, you know how Jordan Peterson always talks about, like, certain psychological traits that men and women might have, like narcissism and agreeableness and stuff like that. So they kind of refer to stuff like that here. I'm just trying to find it. It says that the women who do this scored higher in what's referred to as dark triad personality traits. So
do they have an explanation of what dark triad personality?
They do. It's
that sounds
kind of
very
a dark
dumb,
term.
Dumb and abstract.
Psychopathy. Okay, you're gonna know this word when I say it.
Please don't use the word in the definition that you're trying to define. Go for it. Okay. I'm just joking.
I'm gonna have trouble saying this word, even though I know I've said it a million times before. But just reading it, I have trouble. Machiavellianism.
Machiavellianism?
Thank you. I think that's right. That's a better pronunciation. And narcissism.
Okay.
So it says women who have these three traits, I guess, together. So you have to have all three of them.
What's the first one fucking mean?
Psychopathy.
What is that?
I think that means like unable to like emotionally
sympathize?
Sympathize, empathize. Yeah, emotionally identify.
So you're a
with
sociopath.
People. Yeah, that's basically.
Oh my god, sociopaths who can't relate to other humans are using them for food. Wow,
whatever, right?
No, what a fucking profound discovery. People who don't care about other people don't care about other people. Oh my god.
Well, like so. I don't know.
All those things just describe someone who doesn't give a shit about another human being. That's basically
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So which makes sense, right? That
seems a very obvious reasoning for these things. Not very deep dive.
You could probably just use this same study just to say about 23 to 33% of women have these three traits.
Are dicks.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't have anything to do with dinner at this point. Now it's just dicks.
Well, I mean, that's the question they asked.
Yeah, no,
right?
fair enough. I understand.
Now, I don't really think that this is a huge problem. Like, I don't think it's as big. Like, I don't think it's as bad of a problem as like a lot of guys are making out to say. Like I said, most cases, $20 loss. Like, it's not a big fucking deal.
Well, and your pride once you realize you got played.
Like, it's the risk we take, right?
I suppose. Yeah, I know there is that, but I mean, there are other things than the monetary loss that people care about. I think that if you're taking someone out on a date, money's not really the thing that's on your mind.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're already paying your cost.
Yeah. And I mean, like, fuck, like, I'm sure there's guys who display those same traits probably do worse things. I mean, I'm not saying rape, but like they probably just like use a girl as a cum rag or subversive or something like that, right?
Yeah, where they're trying to like weasel their way in when they already know them in the friend zone or something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, like like I said, I kind of wanted to bring the study in more as
a slight against men's rights activist.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I'm
fucking
really
victimized babies.
Yeah, there's things to complain about.
Yeah,
and this is not one of them.
No.
This is fucking like
this is just dating.
This is fucking time.
It's like the thing I don't want to bring it up as an actual topic, but just as a injection into this conversation. The ghosting thing. It's like it's not I agree that it's not a great thing to do, and people shouldn't generally do it, but there is no real solution to the problem. So why even acknowledge it as something that needs to be solved when it's like, just don't date people who ghost you.
Yeah.
Move on with your life. I've been ghosted before.
Yeah.
And I have a fine track record with meeting women and stuff like that, but some people just can't handle shit.
Just fucking whatever, just deal with it, right? Like ghosting isn't even that. In fact, I would actually say, like, if you want to ghost somebody, then just fucking do it.
Again, it's move on with your life. I mean, if it's super egregious, I'm sure there are scenarios in which this is the case where it's like, wow, you're just a huge cunt for ghosting. But when it's like, hey, you went on a couple dates and then they stopped talking to you, move on with your fucking life.
It doesn't fucking matter.
There's nothing that you built that's worth anything. It's not like you had 3 kids with her, married her, and then she's like, you know what, I don't want to talk to you anymore. That's different. That's different.
That's totally
a whole different ballpark.
Well, I mean, at that point, you might even start losing money because, like, she might go to the government to get money, to garnish your wages.
I suppose, it's possible. But even then, it's just like, they're removing themselves from the situation.
But, I mean, that is like, if you want to talk about, but
we're talking about people who are dating, who are usually
this is
single.
just like a date. Like, this is nothing big. Like, if like the guys who, like, fucking cat.
I don't think they're gonna hear it, but okay.
Whatever. The guys who are like who have to like spend half their paycheck because the woman they had a child with a woman and they have to spend half or more than that on their paycheck to give them money because of the government, that could be something that you could say is bullshit.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about
this is very obviously ghosting in the framework of going on dates, not on someone who's your life partner, who's supposed to be there with you, that signed a contract to share all the expenses of life and kids and all that stuff, to just be like, nope, I tap. That's that's way different than someone that you just met a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and went on 2 dates, and then they were like, yeah, you took me out for dinner a couple times. That's all I wanted out of you in the first place. That's a cunty thing to do, but far different than
like,
someone who ruins your entire life.
If a guy if a guy just wants like a booty call or something, then whatever.
But even if it doesn't extend to a booty call, even if it's just like she wants dinner and you're gullible enough to buy her dinner, and not realize that she's playing you, it's like, well, you need to learn. You need to stop being such a gullible.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this on the other end of the spectrum too. Like, if a guy just wants a booty call and the woman does it, but she's expecting something more from it, like
a relationship.
Yeah, then that's fucking whatever as well, right?
Well,
like,
that's also people not communicating properly with what their intent is, right? Like, so many people. I mean, maybe not you, but I just feel like generally, if I go on a date with somebody, no one's ever going to come to me on the day and ask me, so what is your expectations for this, like, what's going on between us, regardless of how many dates we've been on. Like, and maybe that sounds crazy to some people, but let's be honest. If you started a conversation, like, not started, but if you, during the date, when you're realizing that you're interested in this person and you want to gauge where they are, and you even if I asked that question, I bet you the answer I would get would not be the actual answer that they're thinking in their head. It would be some disingenuous, oh, I don't know, I'm just kind of seeing how things go and stuff like that. It's like, nah, some people are looking for serious relationships and some people aren't. I think you should be able to say that and then come to terms with the fact that you and I have different aspects possibly on what the goal of this us going out is.
Yeah, and I mean, some people, like, you might ask that to someone and they might want to say, I want to be in a serious relationship. Like you said, they're not saying what they think.
Yeah.
But they're just too, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Well, scared to commit to that hard answer.
Well, I know, and I agree that a lot of people get thrown off by, like, being that forward and that, like, knowing what your objective is ahead of time. But to me, it just makes, I feel like everybody does it anyways. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, again, with the girls who would go on a date with a guy for dinner and then never talk to them again or something like that, it's like, they knew they were going to do that ahead of time. Yeah, there's like a 10% chance that you might change their mind. Because I know there's still an option. I've talked to a lot of women, and every woman always tells me, pretty much almost every woman tells me that if they're going out with a dude, there is a chance that he can be convinced into either sex or something more, even slightly, even if it's a 5% chance, there is a chance. Yeah. But very rarely do men who need to put in enough work to get to that point, whereas some men don't have to put in any work because the woman is already interested in that, and that makes it much easier for them to say nothing and still get pussy at the end of the night. You know what I mean? Yeah, but no one's ever gonna have that conversation ahead of time and be like, this is what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Because either you say that you're just looking for a hookup and the other person's like, I'm off put for that. Or you say that, hey, I'm looking for a deep, meaningful relationship. And then they're put off by that because they're like, I'm just getting to know you. I don't know if I want to be. Well, I mean, this is why we're dating. We're figuring it out.
Yeah, because I think
make a decision now. I just want you to know that this is where I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think most people just don't. Let's just say from the
they don't communicate properly,
because communicate would probably help this, but I don't think they know what they're looking for.
I disagree, but I mean, maybe you're right.
Like, I mean, a foodie call, they kind of know what they're looking for. Yeah. But like, I would imagine most people just don't like, or giving it a shot just to see what happens. They don't know what they want. They don't know what's gonna come out of it. They maybe have an expectation that nothing's gonna happen, right? Like that's maybe their baseline. But like I would imagine they don't really know what they want at that moment.
Perhaps it's just me, but I think a lot about a lot of things all the fucking time. So when I go into a situation, it's not that I'm highly calculated, but I know what my goal is or what I'm doing before I do it. You know what I mean? Like I've thought about it, I've considered it, I've gone over in my head, is this the right thing? I'll roll the dice. Like I'll do what you say, which is like, I don't really know what I want. But I don't do that. I know what I want, but I still don't commit to that. You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, this person is a booty call. And I'll go with that until I'm convinced otherwise.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'll be like, I really like this person, so I have a goal of wanting to have a deep, meaningful relationship with them, regardless of what that might be. So maybe I won't have sex with them right away.
Yeah,
and that's happened in the past with me, where it's like, actually, no, I said no to sex because I like you and I want to get to know you. And while that sounds crazy to some dudes, that's just how I operate.
Sounds crazy to some women too.
I have a hard time enjoying sex with women that I don't find attractive, whether it's physically attractive or even mentally attractive. I've had people say shit to me that I was attracted to them before they said that, and then after they said something, I was not attracted to them anymore. You know what I mean?
I've definitely experienced
it's
that.
Like it doesn't take it doesn't take much to change my mind. Once even if I set out an idea in my head, but I'd like to start from a certain point where I can jump off from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, once they tell me that they don't think the frogs are gay, I just lose interest in them.
What about the interdimensional child molesters?
Well, we know those are real too.
Yeah.
Like
psychic vampires.
Of course. Like there's no chance I want to go out with a woman who like isn't aware of these very, common issues that we have to, fight against.
We have to be vigilant and vanguard ourselves from.
That's right. Yeah. Cuz like
protect the children.
The children and ourselves, like if the
I mean, they're interdimensional child molesters. You're not a child.
Yeah, no, but like
don't think
the gay frogs, right?
Don't think they're gonna cross dimensions to rape you. That would be ridiculous.
Well, maybe like in some dimensions, I'm considered a child. Maybe people our age are considered children.
Oh, it's a perspective.
Yeah. Okay.
Age is a spectrum, Ken.
I'm thinking also the gay frogs. Like fucking if she's not aware that the government is putting shit in the water to turn everyone gay. The frog, it just affected the frogs first. Yeah. And like she might start drinking it and turn gay.
Or she might not expect you to start sucking dick and then be like, what are you doing? I thought you were straight. And be like, I told you. Meanwhile, you have like a jug of water in one hand and a dick in the other.
It's the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the government polluting the water. So yeah, like the woman needs to be very aware of these prominent issues.
It's like every time I take a sip of water, I don't know, man. I just want to suck a dick.
Just get a little gayer.
I want to suck a dick so bad. I don't know what it is. It just thinking about it just makes me, I don't know, makes it all hot and sweaty.
Oh man. Well, I mean that's the end of our rant. I'm gonna have a hard time telling people what our podcast is about.
I just tell people it's about gaming and entertainment stuff.
Okay, fair
enough. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. I mean, again, I told people that I was telling a couple people about it. It was a entertainment podcast. But then I was trying to tell them that it wasn't really about politics until you told me the other.
I would prefer to do politics.
Again,
politics has so much comedy in it.
I mean, it does, but it also makes people butthurt.
That's part of the fun.
We don't have an audience big enough to have some of them butthurt and then the rest of them to be okay with it.
No, like
if one person gets butthurt, that's everybody, Ken. that might not even be everybody. That might be nobody.
Especially in this city, like if you advertise our podcast to people and then they tell their friends or whatever, chances are we'll get more people who hate the podcast than like it.
And maybe if they hate watch it, we might be successful. But that's
it's possible, if they make news articles about us, and then like suddenly everybody is just like, oh, I wonder what that is. We get the Streisand effect going on.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah,
that's how I want to be known.
Oh, whatever. Infamy is still, a way to go. As long as we're not assholes like Milo Yiannopoulos.
Do you think that if I said I had a huge dick, that they would have to quote me for having a huge dick?
I think they would have to.
And then that would be in the zeitgeist, just like they could label me alt-right, but then they could also label me as alt-right with a 12-inch dick.
Yeah. The alt-right, I don't know, we'll say comedian. Alt-right comedian Shane has a huge alt-right big dick comedian Shane. There we go.
12-inch dick.
12-inch dick, yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Every inch matters.
Every time he has sex, he bottoms out.
Yeah, bottoms out the vagina.
Yeah, that's the fucking joke, you idiot. That's exactly where I was going with that. You didn't have to explain it any further.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exactly what's gonna happen. I was gonna bring in one more thing, but I do remember what it is.
Well, we didn't do triggers. If you want to do your trigger me timbers or anything like that.
Yeah, let's do a trigger. Let me just there was one that I was gonna bring in, and I totally forgot with all of our rantings and ravings. So let me look at my list here.
Honestly, I'm trying to even think, do I even have anything that I can? Okay. I mean, we already ranted about other stuff.
Yeah, we did.
But I mean, I can't really think of much on my end. So
Okay. So this one is something that you usually hear from progressive groups.
Okay.
And just so we're clear, I shat on the men's rights activists earlier in this episode. Did I not?
You bought yourself 2 progressive shit points.
Okay, I got some progressive shit.
You got some chips to play with.
I already used those up for the previous 2 episodes, but whatever.
Every episode is we start fresh. Please.
So this is a phrase that's commonly used by more progressive groups, and it's something that fucking pisses me off so much. And it's the phrase, "It's not my job to educate you."
Yeah.
I hate this phrase so much because it's only said by fucking idiots who don't know what they're talking about, so they're expecting you to do their work for them to change your mind. Yeah. You're a fucking moron if you use that phrase. Holy shit. You are the dumbest motherfucker alive. If you say that and you actually mean it, you're just an idiot. You should just fucking go in a rocket and fly yourself to the sun.
Well, it's intellectually dishonest because you know that you're just fucking playing your hand right there, that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or don't know enough about it to a nuanced position to be able to articulate it.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. I've only ever heard that statement when I'm talking to someone and they don't really have a rebuttal. We talk for 10 minutes or something, we're going back and forth, and then I explain my position, and then it's not my job to educate you.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
It's there's enough information out there that you should be able to.
Yeah. If you're right, you should be able to.
Yeah, and also that's the whole standpoint of the left is to be educated to understand other people's perspectives. So to say that you're wrong, but I'm not going to tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
Is the most fucking intellectually dishonest thing you could do as someone who's coming from the left who says that we need to understand where everyone's individual perspectives is coming from.
Oh, well, they consider individual perspective as
minority
groups. Okay, yeah.
Fair enough. But still, the sentiment is still there of understanding things from other people's perspective, which I can totally get behind. Yeah. But the idea that it's you need to do this, but you need to do it on your own terms, and it's not my job to inform you. It's what are you doing by calling me a piece of shit in the first place if your job isn't to inform me? So what? That's like going up to a homeless person and be like, "Get a fucking job, homeless person," but then not offering them any work.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's what did you do? Nothing. Great. Stand on your fucking high hill and fuck off.
It's just look, I've already, if we're having a conversation on this, that means I've already done some bit of research, okay? Yeah. If you're telling me to fucking go do more research.
Or research on the things that you find relevant to the conversation that have been convincing to you as an individual.
Chances are I won't go there. If they're telling me to go do my own research, then I'm probably going to go do my own research.
Or if you're intellectually honest with yourself, and I try to be as best as I can by taking in as many perspectives as possible on this particular topic, then you have already researched the opposing view and have not found it compelling enough to change your point of view.
Yes.
And you're having this person...
That's how you're supposed to go.
Yeah, and you're having this discussion to further the chance that you might be convinced. or convince someone else.
And look, I'm not even going to say that like the person who wins a debate is right. Because there is the possibility that somebody wins a debate because they know more, but they're actually in the wrong position.
And you can only really win a debate if the other person openly, and this never happens almost, openly says, I agree with you, I no longer have my position from before, which almost never happens. So there is no real way of winning a debate.
That never should happen. I mean, people should take the time to think about it. Like, I think if somebody changed their perspective on a hard topic right away, then...
Well, I mean, the whole point of having a debate is convincing someone that you have a perspective that should be valid.
Yeah, no, and I agree, but I would say take it home and sit on it for a bit.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, the only way I could see you actually winning a debate is by the other person walking away being like, I no longer believe the thing I believed in. I now believe what you believe in.
And you know what? At that point, everybody wins.
As long as the information's out there, so for people to think.
More people get closer to the truth. Like, that's what we need.
Or have more nuance so that way you can make a better judgment for yourself based on these other people who have invested a lot of time in these specific topics to be able to, again, articulate them enough that other people can take that articulation and make a decision on what they find is important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. It's back to my point. It's just a phrase that pisses me off. It's just, it's lazy. It's like you said, it's intellectually dishonest.
It is very lazy.
Yeah. So if you use that phrase, when Shannon and I have enough money, I'm going to build a rocket. I'm launching it into the sun. You're welcome. I'm inviting you to be in that rocket. Okay.
Well, I don't want to die. So I'm
not you. The people who use that phrase.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anybody who uses that phrase, you're invited to go into that rocket. Okay. I'm flying you into the sun.
And I hope they take it.
It's for humanity's sake. Over time, maybe I'll invite other groups of people into that rocket.
You'll already be in the rocket and gone. It won't be. It's a one-time trip, bud. You're not coming back from that.
Because we don't have the money to build it yet. Okay. All right. We still have time to invite more people until that rocket's built.
I feel like your plan's not going to work unless it's ready to go and you got people in that rocket. The moment that you're like, yeah, we're going to do this eventually, you're going to have a bunch of people back down at the last minute. Just like making plans. A bunch of people are going to be like, no, I'm sick. I'm not feeling good anymore. I
want to build a rocket to the sun, man, okay?
That's fine. You can do that. Talk to Elon.
Yeah, Elon. My homeboy Elon. Not a flamethrower man, okay? He never made a flamethrower.
They're roofing torches. Excuse me.
That's what it is, yeah.
Bouncing off of what you're talking about when it comes to specifically like Twitter, my thing with that...
So is this a trigger?
This is kind of like a trigger, yeah. Okay. But I think it's more broad than yours. People who use language that they would never use in a normal setting when they're talking to another human being. And I have a couple examples of this. It's the... like what you said, similarly, but someone would actually say that where I don't have to explain this to you. It's not my job to educate you. But when people put claps in between fucking words, I'm like, nobody speaks like this. Stop doing this. You just sound like a fucking idiot.
I don't even, I read what they're saying, but I immediately disregard their position.
Yeah,
when I see that.
Honestly, I can barely even keep up with like what they're saying when they have claps in between. Like, I'm not trying to sound stupid or anything, but I mean, like, it's just so distracting to have all these fucking claps in between every single fucking word. And I think it's like, in my brain, when I think about that, I'm thinking like there's a clap in between every syllable. That's how gross it is. And I think that's just me trolling in my own brain. Yeah. But like, that kind of shit, when people use language on Twitter, and maybe I'm being like narrow-minded at this, but when people use language they would never use outside of a particular platform like Twitter, it's just so... I'm so old man rage with that. It's the same thing like what were we talking about earlier? It was the same kind of thing where it's like... for all the people in the back and shit like that. It's like, nobody speaks like this. Or the other one I was saying last week where it's like, trans people deserve to live. It's like, nobody says words like this. Like, I understand what you're trying to get across by making these statements, but nobody speaks like this. And honestly, anybody who doesn't already agree with you doesn't take you seriously when you say these things. Yeah, you sound stupid.
There's not too many people out there that say they want like trans people to die.
Yeah, nobody's saying that. Nobody's advocating.
What are you arguing against?
I shouldn't say nobody. There are a minor group of people that probably really hate trans people or are advocating for their death, but 95% plus people don't even give a fuck because it doesn't affect them, right? Yeah. They don't, like, it's not that they don't care whether or not trans people live or die. They just don't care about killing trans people actively, and that's not actually happening to most people.
I know a lot of Muslims.
Yeah.
And just so we're clear, not Christians. Yeah. I'm Muslims here. Yeah. All right? In case anybody decides to say only Christians are bad.
Okay.
I know a lot of Muslims that fucking hate gay people and hate trans people. Yeah. Hate trans people even more. Okay? Even those people, and they really fucking hate them, don't want to kill them. But
it's just like they don't want to be associated with them. Like there are probably the fringe Sharia law people. Yeah, exactly. You can have a negative opinion of someone and still want them to live. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't have a high opinion of homeless people that are in my area because they ripped me off a whole bunch and stole my shit. But that doesn't mean that I want to go and murder every single homeless person in the entire world. Yeah.
They're welcome to go into our rocket. By the way,
I will pay for their ticket.
Okay, awesome.
Even if it's free, I will pay for it and tell them I paid for it, so that it's more enticing for them to go.
They could just go into the rocket, fly them into the sun. Yeah. We'll give them all the fucking drugs they want in the rocket. You know, give them one last good time.
Yeah. Sure. I wouldn't even bother. I don't think it's worth it. Once they're in the rocket, you got them, man. You got the mouse in the trap.
Look, I want them to have one good moment before they go into the sun.
I don't know, man. I would rather have the mouse get into the trap and realize the cheese was plastic.
Oh, God. You're evil.
Well, hey, you know what? They ain't coming back. So
they ain't coming back, so it doesn't even matter. But either way, it doesn't matter. But yes.
Yeah, just Twitter speak in general. I hate how fake and unnatural it is.
Well, like, and a part of what you said, I think would be, and correct me if I'm wrong here, defined as arguing against something that nobody says. I just want to phrase it like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying is like using speech that nobody would actually use. Mm-hmm. Really, it's kind of the same idea, but in a different avenue as like having the anonymity of being online and saying some nasty fucking shit to to someone that you would never say to their face. Yes. It's in that same vein of like, you would never say this to someone's face, so why are you even towing the line and saying it in the first place? The same thing. No one ever speaks like this, so why would you use this language online? You're not getting your point across the way that you want it to be. You just sound like an asshole waving a white flag.
Pretty much. This fucking virtue signaling shit.
The virtue signaling flag.
I have, that's one of my triggers as well, but it's a different kind of virtue signal. Yeah. But anyways, do
you want to close this one out?
Yeah.
Losing steam?
Yeah, I think we're good. We're almost at 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Do you have any wise words?
Damn it, I really should have came prepared. I was racking my brain so hard trying to keep one going for every single week so we'd always have one.
We can think of one right now, okay?
No, it needs to be thoughtful and meaningful, Ken. These are things that people are going to be living by for the rest of their lives listening to this podcast. These are things that are going to stick with them. They're going to pass this information on to their kids. And I want it to be meaningful. I don't want it to be tie your left shoe first. That's some bullshit.
Okay. What about, like, if you ever run into a stormtrooper that wants to kill you, don't fucking worry about it.
That's nothing. There's no stormtroopers that are going to be shooting anybody. And if it's a video game, there's no
now.
Stakes. Yeah, the Nazis are coming, right? I'm trying to think of something good.
Fuck. I feel like we should end it on one.
Okay, here you go. This isn't super deep or anything like that.
It's okay. I don't think any of them are going to be
super
deep.
Here's my wise words of wisdom.
And none of them are going to be deep-throating deep.
Sex is just as good with a condom as without, and using a condom allows you to skip having the butthurt of having kids. So the slight 10% hit you take on pleasure is a huge boost for the amount of pleasure that you'll be getting for the rest of your life not having kids. So
you're asking a lot for those fucking circumcised kids, though. Because they already lose pleasure because they're circumcised. Now you're asking them to lose more pleasure?
Oh, no, I guess you're right. But whatever.
I'm joking with you.
My point being, abstinence is the best policy. No. Use a condom and avoid the pain of having children.
Yeah, fuck.
And then you don't have to complain.
All right, everyone.
Go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves.